Spectre, our newest specialist here in Black Ops 4, is no stranger to the Black Ops series, as Black Ops 3 was where Spectre originally debuted with the Ripper weapon and the active camo ability. However, here in Black Ops 4, Spectre is definitely not the same specialist that we once knew. Different game, different abilities, different playstyles, different oddities. And with that, today we're taking a look at 9 things you may not have known about our Spectre specialist here in Black Ops 4. What's up guys, Zacher Immortal here, welcome back to the channel, and thanks for stopping by. We are always uncovering and diving into new secrets, leaks, rumors, and updates when it comes to Black Ops 4, so if you are a part of the 86% of viewers who aren't subscribed to the channel and you do want to stay up to date with the latest Black Ops 4 news and intel, feel free to hit that sub button and turn on your post notifications. That way you'll always be caught up and up to date with the latest Call of Duty news. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. Slap that like button, give it a little love tap, it would be much appreciated. And now, let's get into 9 things you may not have known about Spectre here in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Spectre is without a doubt one of our most mysterious specialists within the Call of Duty franchise. Ever since Spectre's debut back in Black Ops 3, the entire character and demeanor of Spectre has been shrouded in secrecy. And you may have already picked up on one of the big mysteries regarding Spectre, and that is our lack of gender identification for the specialist, which, I'm not gonna lie, makes talking about Spectre a little bit peculiar because instead of saying he or she, I gotta say Spectre, because honestly just saying it feels a little bit weird, I'm not gonna lie. And while we don't have any dead set confirmation on Spectre's gender, the closest thing we're going to get to a gender reveal party is the information we can infer thanks to the Specialist HQ missions here in Black Ops 4 and the very minor pieces of intel that Black Ops 3 gave us as well. Both titles combined, we know that Spectre is a for-hire assassin who often likes to look at life in terms of the big picture, and a few certain quotes highlight this ideology, including, "Things are very rarely entirely as they seem. The key is to grasp the bigger picture, to understand the larger forces in play, work out what their goals and endgames might be. And also, this isn't a brawl, this is chess. You're pawns, nothing more." That said, it's safe to say Spectre, whoever this character is rather intelligent, most likely capable of understanding the more advanced things presented to them. And thus, it's likely that they know their way around a computer and technology in general, which will come into play here in just a moment. Anyways, circling back to our Specialist HQ missions, if you played the story, you'll be able to follow along just fine. If you haven't, beware, there are some spoilers ahead, but they are necessary for the sake of this secret. With that out of the way, one of the first things you'll see in the Specialist HQ is Savannah Mason and Lucy Mason approaching the gravestone of Jessica Mason Greene, the sister of Savannah Mason and the granddaughter of Alex Mason. Pretty early on into this same mission, Jessica Mason Greene is also involved in a raid gone wrong in which her jaw is blown clean off and we see what appears to be her in her dying moments. However, it is then later discovered that Jessica survived the incident but now has a fake jaw and can only talk through the power of a voice changer. It's here where we actually have our biggest connection to Jessica and Spectre, as both characters clearly use a voice changer, and seeing as Spectre's face has never been officially revealed, perhaps a self-conscious Jessica Mason Greene doesn't want her face to be seen in its less than ideal state. Now unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, there is no confirmation that Jessica is in fact Spectre, but out of anyone we know who has ties to our other specialist characters, Jessica Mason Greene appears to be the most likely candidate when it comes to who's behind the Spectre mask. So there you have it, Spectre just might be a female after all. The second thing you might not know about Spectre is the fact that you can actually throw the Shadow Blade sword in multiplayer. Yes, you can literally throw the sword like it was a football, and honestly, it is awesome. You do this by of course activating your Shadow Blade weapon and then holding the left trigger to aim and the right trigger to throw. Something to note about throwing your blade though is that once you throw it, your specialist meter completely resets. So it is definitely a better idea to wait until your blade has almost run out if you are in fact going to throw it. The third thing you might not have known about Spectre here in BO4 is how to maneuver in the fastest way possible while in that third-person Shadow Blade mode. Now, this strategy can actually be utilized in both multiplayer and in Blackout, unlike throwing your blade, which can only be used in multiplayer. Now, using the roll feature, which we'll be bringing up here in a little bit as well, is by and large the most effective way to move around the map faster, However, rolling backwards, which essentially makes you do a backflip, actually allows you to cover much more ground per roll. Thus, you move a lot faster by rolling backwards. Of course, it's not the most convenient thing, seeing as you can't see what's behind you and you're not necessarily sure where you're rolling, but if you are trying to escape the zone in blackout or get from point A to point B a little bit faster, backflipping constantly is the way to go for sure. The fourth thing you maybe didn't know about Spectre is a rather peculiar fact, but it exists nonetheless. On the map Arsenal, we of course have the notorious vents, which are a camper's best friend, and oddly enough, when you are in the third-person mode with your Shadow Blade out as Spectre, you can't actually fit into these vents. Of course, naturally, you have to crouch to enter the vents in the first place, but even when you try to roll into the vents using Spectre, you simply can't get inside. So, if you are trying to avoid being sliced up by that Shadow Blade and you just so happen to be playing on Arsenal, flocking to the vents just might save your life. Continuing on, the fifth thing you might not have known about Spectre is using the roll ability actually makes you incredibly hard to hit, especially in Blackout. Now, over in multiplayer, rolling is certainly effective as well, as it does increase your speed a lot and makes it a little bit easier to avoid getting shot, but in Blackout specifically, rolling makes it nearly impossible for an enemy to hit you at any kind of range. I've found out the hard way, time and again unfortunately, trying to snipe a Spectre player or even land some AR shots on them from any kind of decent range whatsoever becomes 10 times harder when they're rolling around. For the sixth and seventh things you didn't know about Spectre, we're actually going to be focusing on that Shadow Blade once again. That said, by throwing the Shadow Blade, you actually have the ability to hit a collateral with the blade if you get lucky enough to find some enemies standing in a line. Now personally, I haven't been able to run into this situation too often, but I did try and replicate it as best I could in custom games. And I've even seen some clips of Spectre's blade being thrown and actually piercing 2 and even 3 enemies before trailing off into the distance, which makes me wonder, how many players can Spectre's blade actually kill when it's thrown? And I'm just saying, if any of you out there are professional mythbusters, think I might have just given you a brand new experiment. Alongside that, throwing the sword is also a guaranteed one-hit kill on mostly everything in the game. Of course, players are immediately taken out by it, as are things like the strike team, the assault pack, the sentry gun. However, I'm not entirely sure if the blade is as effective on things like the gunship or even the attack helicopter, as either I couldn't get the blade to hit it, or I didn't get the chance to try it in the case of some streaks, but nonetheless, the blade is incredibly powerful against players and streaks alike when it's thrown. The eighth thing you might not have known about Spectre here in Black Ops 4 is the fact that smoke grenades are tied to the user who threw the grenade. Meaning, while you throw a smoke grenade, all the enemies in it will be highlighted for you and you alone. However, if an enemy throws a smoke grenade, even if you are also using Spectre, you won't be able to see through the smoke like it was your own. So, little tip for anybody out there, if you do see an enemy smoke grenade, even if you are Spectre, don't go running into it. It will not end well for you. Trust me, I found out the hard way. It was not fun. And finally, the ninth thing that you might not have known about the Spectre Specialist here in Black Ops 4 really isn't anything most players would ever even notice, nor is it anything vitally important, but it is something that I found to be a little bit interesting when I first took note of it. And that is the fact that the mask that Spectre wears when dressed in the Ninja Specialist outfit does look pretty similar to the masks worn by the Demon Group in Marvel's Spider-Man game. Now, they're not a perfect one-for-one replica of one another, but the overall art style and structure of the masks are pretty similar. Like I said, it's not anything vitally important, but it is certainly a neat little thing that I picked up on. And with that said, those are 9 things you may not have known about the Spectre Specialist here in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Definitely let me know down in the comments below what you currently think of Spectre here in BO4, if of course you've had the chance to use the Specialist in-game. Do you think it's overpowered? Do you think it's not powerful enough? Definitely give me your thoughts down below. Of course, if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like rating on it, as it would be much appreciated. And if you are brand new here to the channel and you do want to stay up to date with all of the latest Black Ops 4 and Call of Duty news and intel, feel free to hit that sub button and turn on your post notifications. That way, you'll always know when a new video goes live. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.